So recently, if you've been watching the news or anything, you might have seen that State Farm, which is the largest homeowners insurance provider right here in California, has recently stopped issuing new policies. So what does that mean for you? We're going to get into, we talked to a few insurance brokers, a few insurance agents, give you some insight into what they're seeing, how this will potentially affect you as a home owner or potentially a home buyer. And then we also have some solutions. So if you do run in that situation, or you might potentially run into a situation in the future, at least you have a plan B. So let's get into it right now. And so a quick reminder, if you guys need anything real estate related, we got your back. We're the Beach Life Group right here in San Diego. I'm Chris Erickson. We have Mr. Loren Sanders. If you have some questions, book that discovery call below. We got your back. But Loren, you chatted with one of our local agents right here in Encinitas about kind of what's going on in
Yep.
the insurance world. What was it? What'd you take from him?
And this isn't a commercial, but my insurance guy's Jake with State Farm,
Yeah.
literally.
Mine
And
too.
yeah, so
For real.
but no, Jake Caesar, who's known his father for a long time, but he's been in the area a long time. I guess that my takeaways in general are, yes, no new policies are coming out of State Farm. I got a sense that they're hoping they can get this resolved with the California State Insurance Commission. And really, we can talk the nuance of all the stuff, which none of that really matters. It's a money thing. In general, it costs them so much to provide the policy, and they're collecting so much, and the numbers aren't working any longer. Anyway, so they just pulled out. They decided, hey, no new policies. When there's less competition in these type of things, it's typically not a good thing for the consumer either. So
Yeah.
The state is trying to hold the line on some cost structures or raising the rates. And the main thing my big takeaway from all of this is, we have a process when we go into escrow and you're looking for a home, you find the house. One of the very first things on my checklist would now be contact your insurance person, give them the address, and find out if you're going to have any issues right up front with whoever you use. And if you are, then we've got some names and numbers of insurance brokers, in essence, that can find a policy for you.
One of the things with State Farm, the reason that they were stating is because due to wildfires, or due to those kind of conditions, and then also the rising cost of construction. So as that goes up, their policy rates have to go up. But there are, like you said, there's kind of parameters
There's
they have
limits.
to stick with. There's limits they have to stick with. So it just wasn't making sense financially. Allstate is also not doing it, not issuing new policies anymore.
The other thing to keep in mind with this, from a home buyer standpoint, if you're in escrow buying a home and you're in a severe fire zone, you're going to get a form that's now part of the escrow process that asks a bunch of questions about fire safety for your particular and who's responsible for it, and whether your particular property is in good shape. Like we sell some, like we do out in Fallbrook or some of those areas, and some of those you need to have the fire department come out and take care of some things, look at your property and make sure that that you've got defensible space, number of things.
And I also reached out to an insurance broker, asked her a few questions. So State Farm is obviously, they insure they have their own policies, where insurance broker they have, access to, as same thing like a mortgage broker. So, they have access to a bunch of different policies, so they could shop it around and kind of see what's going to work best for you. But asked her if there's 3 questions. I'm going to read it. I have the little transcript right here. So, with some providers not issuing new policies for homeowners insurance in California, do you guys have solutions for that? So that was the first question. The answers, I'm going to give you a hint. They're all the same. The second question, have you seen policies be canceled or not renewed with certain providers in California, or just not issuing new policies? And the third question was, are new home buyers who need a policy having issues at the moment? And the answer to all the questions was yes. So they said they do have some property markets, but we may be limited on the number of policies we can write, and it would also depend on the property information. Several of our companies have initiated a new business pause, so they are not open to us currently. We also have companies non-renewing longtime customers and pulling out of state. So it really comes down to everybody's situation. Before we get into solutions, some things, as we've kind of gone over a few things to keep in mind. If you are a homeowner or a potential buyer, you might have a little more difficulty depending on where you are getting that insurance policy. You might have a higher cost, once again, depending on location, to get that insurance policy.
Okay, so just quick recap on this. Insurance is key in the news now, and so it's important that you talk to your insurance provider. Even when you just start looking at houses, tell them you're going to be out looking at houses. Make sure that they actually, number one, are still doing policies in California, and then number two, if there's any caveats you need to know about, like, hey, they're not doing them in a high fire zones or severe fire zones, which we have. There's spread out around here. And the last thing I would say is, and this has happened, we've done a lot of transactions over the years, and I've seen where people actually leave out the insurance part till the very end, and they have a big scramble of finding someone. And normally that might not be such a big deal, but today it would be a big deal. Could end your, it could stop your transaction, because you might find out, hey, insurance, I thought it was going to be $825 a year, and it's going to be $2,700, which may knock you out of your ratios, it may adjust some things.
And one other thing, the last kind of line of defense is a California Fair Plan, which is it's just guaranteed insurance through California. You have to find one of their brokers online. So you can go to their site. If you had issues, let's say you are a current homeowner and your policy got revoked and you can't find anywhere else, you can go there. Obviously, it's most likely going to be more expensive, but even as of now, there's still over about 100 providers of insurance right here in California. So if your current one doesn't do it, you're likely going to be able to find another one. It just comes down to, like Loren said, what that price is going to be. So we'll have some information down below. You can reach out to us if you want to hit up. We could provide you some of those insurance brokers that we've worked with and stuff. But if you need anything else, feel free to reach out. All that information, like I said, right down below. Catch you next time.